Alright, let's talk. FIFA 21. Not gonna lie, I had no intention on ever making a video like this. In fact, I had another Weekend League highlight compilation lined up.
They win.
Vamos! Come on, boys! But that fell way behind schedule, so I figured, why not complain? Now, with that being said, I'm not just going to be complaining for the sake of it. The issue I'm going to be speaking on has sort of bothered me, honestly, for the last couple of FIFAs. Essentially, I'm a casual player. I'm about as casual of a player as you can get in this game. Like the season that just passed, I didn't even get to tier 15. And where my issue sort of lies is that I don't see the appeal or reason for casual players like me to sort of keep playing Ultimate Team anymore. It seems like every game of Foot Champions I go into, I come across somebody using a stupidly expensive team or abusing whatever meta is in place at the time. And after coming across those types of teams time after time, I sort of start to wonder, where are the casuals? Now I know first point I'll get hit with is, oh, Foot Champions isn't a place for casuals, go play something else. Like what? Rivals is essentially just Foot Champions but less rewarding and without a time limit. Friendlies is completely unrewarding, draft is dead, and squad battles. And it sucks because I honestly think that every one of those game modes I just listed honestly has potential to be much better, except squad battles. As friendly stands, I think it is a very fun and casual game mode, but you don't get rewarded for playing at all. You play 15 games in Managerial Masterpiece and walk out with nothing but the card you grinded for. Before there was even an objectives tab, we had daily knockout tournaments back in like FIFA 17. If you won like 4 games in a row, you got rewarded with a Team of the Season card. And even then, they still at least toss in 1,000 coins. So, quite a simple solution actually. Depending on the amount of games you have to play to actually get the card, you get a coin bonus and say a pack or something along with the card that you were playing for. Basically what I mean by this is that cards that take about 7 or so games to complete, along with the actual card, you get about 5k and maybe a 15k pack. And those that take a little bit longer, like 15 games, you get 10k and a 25k pack. I think that'll really help balance out the game modes because as it stands right now, Foot Champions is really the only way you can get money in this game. That or, you know, putting in actual money. And honestly, part of me has to give props to EA here, man. They really set this entire game mode up to where you either slave away in the Weekend League or you pay up. And I don't know if it's just me, but saying that out loud, it almost sounds criminal. Oh, and speaking of Weekend League, it's definitely a flawed game mode as well. My biggest issue being that towards the tail end of last year, we were getting cards up to 99 rated from our rewards. So going back to regular Team of the Week picks just sort of feels like a big wet slap to the face. Another issue with the simple fix, just throw in promo teams in the rewards alongside the actual Team of the Week picks. Only exception that makes Team of the Year, you could throw those cards in with Team of the Season picks towards the game's ending cycle. Main benefit of this change is that promo cards would be much easier to obtain, which I think would make teams a lot more unique. Every FIFA has a shite. Now I am aware that every FIFA seems to have a handful of players that are just inexplicably overpowered, but in recent years I've noticed that it's sort of just the same names that are not just overpowered, but flat out unstoppable. So yeah, you put a higher variety of cards and rewards, I think that'll make teams more diverse. This sort of goes hand in hand with my other problem with Weekend League. That being the fact that after about 10 games, bro, it just gets really fucking boring. Yeah, like I mentioned, part of that is due to the fact that every team you come across is basically the exact same. And like I also mentioned, you're not guaranteed good rewards from playing. But on top of this, there's also another huge factor, and that is the gameplay. People often point back to FIFA 17 and 18 when we had to play about 40 games in an even less amount of time and sort of ponder on how people were even able to do that. Well, if you compare the gameplay then to now, it's definitely a difference. And what's even funnier to me is the fact that at the start of the year, this FIFA, the gameplay was even worse. For the first few months, the skill gap was essentially just made up of who could abuse the right stick the hardest. Luckily, EA did take notice and come out with a patch for skill moves, and believe me, you'll have a hard time finding anyone more grateful for that than me. In doing so, however, they have left us with this defensive borefest of a game. This time though, I have no idea if they're working on a patch or not, but I don't think it'd be that hard to fix anyway. The main meta people are abusing right now is fullbacks at center back. Since they are out of position and on like 5 cam, I don't think it'd be that hard for EA to just fucking program them to get caught out more often. One last thing on Foot Champions, get rid of extra time. If it's still tied by 90, just go straight to pens or maybe even golden goal. That's basically all my ideas for Foot Champions and gameplay. I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm just going to briefly touch up on draft. I think it's embarrassing how you can still win 4 in a row and end up with a 5k pack. Current system in place for draft, you don't always get the same thing twice, the rewards are kind of random. And while I do sort of like this concept, I think it should sort of be mixed with how rivals do their rewards. Essentially, you have 3 options. One on the left is always going to be coin based, one in the middle is always going to be packs, one on the right is going to be untradeable packs. Where the trick comes in is that you don't always get the same options to choose from. So the coin-based one, you go 4 in a row one time, it might be 45k. You go 4 in a row again, it might be 20k with the 25k pack. I don't know, bro. I really didn't think about this one too much, but just something better than the 5k pack, you feel me? I know there's a higher chance of Lacazette winning the Ballon d'Or than there's of an EA employee seeing this, but I don't know. I just like pitching these ideas out there. The thing with me is I love football, I love the sport, I love games, I love to play. Put those two together, I don't care how terrible it is, I'm gonna keep playing. Unless it's PES. But that doesn't mean we should have to settle for what we have. I think this game mode has an abundant amount of potential, and under the right care, it could really go back to being something special.